What's up, Sizzle Nation? Puddin' and Sizzle here.
What's up?
And in today's video, guys, we know a lot of you folks have new boats because of the COVID, and we do a lot of trailering. And I've been trailering my whole life, and we want to show you guys some of our favorite tips and tricks on how to trailer correctly. We got the safety tips, and we also want to show you how to get in and out of the boat and be courteous to other people so we can all have an enjoyable time on the water. Well, let's get right to it. All right, so the first thing you're going to need is something to tow with. You need a tow vehicle, very common, and what we use is the Ford F-150, and I'm not going to get into how much that can tow and all that kind of stuff because it all depends on what version you get. But of course, before you start towing something, you got to find out how much your truck can tow safely. All right, this thing can tow about 8,000. My boat weighs about 6,500. That's really at the upper limit. What you guys want to do is get a truck that can easily tow the whole weight of your boat, your trailer, a whole bunch of gas, all your gear and all that stuff. Let's get to the tires. We're in South Florida, and there's all kinds of different shapes of ramps and everything else like that. So honestly, the ramps are usually pretty decent, but you know, in the Keys they're not. Anyway, it's a two-wheel drive truck, and I've had no problems at all. But of course, you got to keep good tires in your truck. If you're going to have bulb tires, you're going to have problems with the ramps. But if you have good tires on there and your trailer properly weighted with the tongue weight and everything, then you know you're not going to have any problems with the ramps in Florida. At least I don't either. Another hot tip is never ask trailer advice from someone who doesn't have rust on the back of their truck. This is a real guy truck. You got rust in the back from going on the ramp, and up front, no rust, okay? So that's how you know someone trailers a lot. All right, now again, just some tips and tricks for trailering that I'm just gonna give you. Again, I'm not gonna go into all the safety stuff about what you need for your trailer. It all depends on what boat you have and what size, but learn that stuff. Make sure you have obviously a proper size trailer, extra big for your boat. Make sure all your lights are working, all that kind of stuff. And a big tip for your lights, you know, your lights are gonna work. The more you use the boat, the more your lights are gonna work. If you take them off, you can guarantee your lights aren't gonna work when you start the trailer. So make sure you check those the night before. And two little tips up here is I like to put a little bit of grease on this connection here about every month or two, and that'll keep this nice and fresh and connect well. And also on your ball. Very funny, make sure you grease the ball, okay, to make this thing 1,000 times easier to go on and off, and you'll avoid the jumping on here like Puddin' always has to do when he forgets to grease his ball. All right, let's move back. Another great feature I have here is this turnbuckle, okay? Of course, we have the winch, and of course, you don't have a real winch unless you have a knot here tying on your hook. That's what real guys do again. But you want to have this turnbuckle because this is going to really secure your boat down to your trailer so it doesn't bounce a lot on the highway and when you're trailing, okay? This really makes trailing just a lot easier, a lot better, a lot smoother, okay? And of course, you got to have your spare. Very important thing about spares is we always just forget about them, right? Make sure you have air in your spare tire, all right? And make sure it's, you know, it's not all rotten. It happened to me, it happens to everybody. Get a flat, next thing you know, your spare sucks. It's low or it's rotten and you gotta get a new one. So just pay attention to your spare. A couple things here. First thing is, I got 2 axles. I swear to God, guys, excuse my language, but I swear I am never gonna have another trailer. I don't care how big the boat is. It does not have 2 axles. It is just too dangerous, in my opinion. We've blown a tire on a single axle trailer going down the turnpike at 65, 70 miles an hour. And thank God it was a small like John boat, but the thing just starts wiggling and wagging the dog all over the place. And man, that's super dangerous for everyone behind you. And of course, to jackknife your own vehicle. So, I mean, I'm only going anywhere with 2 axles from now on. Another thing, tires on your trailer. Again, my dad was a big trailer tire guy. So you want to keep fresh tires on there and get the best tires you can, okay? These are Goodyear endurance tires. They're higher rated than your standard tires. They also have a higher speed rating. You know, most tires, if you go out and you buy a trailer and you have some nice tires on there from the dealer, they're probably only going to be rated for 65 miles an hour, okay? And I don't know about you, but a speed limit around here is 65 miles, sometimes to 70 on a turnpike, sometimes to 75. I don't want to be driving around even doing 60 on 65 mile an hour rated tires. So these are rated to like 87 miles an hour. Not that I want to go 87 with a trailer either. I don't really want to go over 70 or 75 downhill, but you want to get the very best tires, again, because they blow out, you have a major catastrophe. Another good thing here, these little bolts on here, these are super awesome. When you know, we don't change tires very much when we have trailers, and when you do, they're gonna be stuck, right? And these bolts that go over the top, or these nuts that encircle it, they prevent the rust from building up on the end of your lugs there, and it just makes them 1,000 times easier to get off, all right? And also, oh, one last thing, I don't want to see you guys on the side of the road with a jack, with a double axle, all right? You got to throw a couple pieces of wood in the back of your truck, something with a little ramp on it maybe, and you just pull your trailer up on the wood, okay? And that will elevate the other tire, okay? I don't want to, don't be on the side of the road with a jack. That's ridiculous. Just drive up on some wood, okay? Almost forgot, I want to tell you guys about my hubs. As you can see, these are not just standard hubs. These are called airtight hubs. And they use air pressure to keep water out. And I've been using these. They're installed by the local airtight guy, I don't know, years ago, and they've just been great, and I have had no issues. So that might be a little upgrade for you. Again, just to sound and again, you know, just make sure your lights working. That's the main thing that most trailers don't do. And again, if you're trailing your boat once a year or once every couple months, your lights ain't gonna work, all right? You gotta fiddle with them a little bit. So just check those the day before you go out or a couple days before. We go every day, so my lights always work, so that's no problem. But make sure those are working and carry some spares in your truck, because you'll go on a trip and they will blow. Always make sure your plug is in the right spot, either in or out. And don't forget to tilt up your engine before you pull up the ramp, because you're gonna hit your skeg on the ramp there if you don't watch your engine, all right? So, oh, almost forgot to show you guys how to connect your trailer to your truck. It's kind of self-explanatory, but basically what Darcy and I do is one of us backs the truck up, and we just use hand signals, you know, back up a little bit, back up a lot, left or right, and then of course you just get your ball under your tongue here and you lower it down. If you got a winch thing, hopefully. And then you just latch it. Our latch goes back and points straight up, which is a little different, but whatever. All right, then you get down here, and technically, you know, it's probably a good idea. I do it on longer trips. I put something right here to lock this down, and then you just take your chains, and most people like to go over, all right, and then you connect it down here. Take the other one, connect it down there. That way, if something happens with your hitch here, you'll be attached with these chains. Then, of course. Oh, another little tip is I always like to, when I store this thing, I like to store my connector like out of the range. I just stick it under here. On the other board, it's a little easier, but whatever. And then obviously just connect this. You know, whether you have a 4 or a 5 pin connector, and you have a little grease on this, so it goes in real easy. And one important thing is sometimes this line is too long, your electric cord. Sometimes you can wrap it around your chain or whatever. Just make sure it doesn't drag on the ground. That has happened to me more than once, I can assure you. And that's really it. And very important to make sure it's all secure also when you leave the ramp at the end of the day, because, you know, I don't know, I'm not gonna say people sabotage things, but you just gotta check, man, you know, so just double check everything before you take any sort of trip. All right, here's a great tip. This is kind of like an aftermarket tip I forgot. When you set the height of your hitch over here, your trailer should be level, okay? All the time I'm down at the ramp, I see all these Googans, and it's way too high or way too low, and that's not proper. Your frame of your trailer should be nice and level, okay? And you also should have proper tongue weight on here. It's a little hard to gauge, but you may have to move this back and forward to get your boat leveled. You know, by sight you can do it. Make sure your tires are equally pressed down the road, right? And your thing is level, and that should give you a gist of it. If you have this tilted way up like this, you have too much weight in the back, your trailer is going to be light here, and it's going to be actually lifting the back of your truck up a little bit, okay? Taking weight off those back tires, and you're really going to have a lot of trouble at the ramp doing that. So that's just another thing that I kind of just thought about, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of. All right, guys, that's really it about the trailer before we actually leave to get down to the ramp. Again, just make sure you're legal, lights, brakes, all that kind of stuff, great tires, and you're going to have a much better and much safer time on the road. All right, let's get down to the ramp.
Okay guys, we're almost at the boat ramp to drop the boat in the water. But first things first, we're gonna stop at the staging area. Now every boat ramp, honestly, should have a staging area for where you park and you're not in the way of the actual ramps, you're not blocking anybody, and this is where you go and you load your boat. You put your plug in your boat, you get your straps taken off your trailer, whatever you need to do, you do it now before you block the ramps. And we have seen this time and time again, and it's super frustrating when you're trying to get in the water quickly.
All right, and by load your boat, I mean you're not gonna start putting your rods in your boat or your fishing tackle. You're gonna put that in there at home, okay? All you should really be putting in there is your cup of coffee and your land shark, and Darcy would have a pocketbook or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't hold up the whole ramp loading your boat.
I mean, there's times where we come to the ramp very early in the morning and every single spot is taken and everybody is staging their boat at the last minute. And like, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, again, it's just, it's etiquette. The whole thing about trailering, especially on the weekends, is just courtesy to other people. It's common sense, okay? So now I'm gonna unhook this, take off my turnbuckle, put the plug in, okay? Do whatever you gotta do to remember that plug, and we're all set to launch. I get it in the boat and I drive it off, and Darcy backs it up. You ready, Sizzle?
Let's go.
Okay.
When you go to start learning how to trailer your boat, honestly, it's all practice. I say this constantly about learning any new sport or whatever you're trying to do that's brand new to you. You gotta practice. I just don't recommend practicing, here at an actual boat ramp where people are trying to get their boats in and out of the water. Do it at like a big Walmart parking lot or some kind of parking lot where you have space and you can do it. And when I first started trailering all these years ago, Brian always told me small movements with your wheel here. You don't need to make a drastic wheel change here. So what I'm gonna do, you can use your rear view mirrors to look back, but what I like to do, I'm little, so I like to get up and I like to see where I'm backing down. So I like to get myself up off the chair, and I kind of start backing down here. Just slow movements. And then when I get close, what I like to do is I like to stick my head out the window. When you turn the wheel to the left, for instance, the boat is going to go the opposite. It's going to go to the right, and then the same way vice versa. So just keep that in mind. It's always opposite of the wheel. The way you turn the wheel is the way the boat is going to move in your trailer.
All right, guys. Now I'm in the boat. Darcy's backing up, and I got my battery on, and I got my engine tilted up a little bit, just trying to make sure I don't hit. And it's very simple. As soon as it gets in the water, I'm going to put the engine down. We're going to start it. She's going to put it about halfway in. That way we know the engine starts. I can give her a hand signal.
Good.
Start it. And then she's going to back it up. And I'm just backing up. And that's it. We're launched. It's easy peasy. And again, I'm going to get out of the egress area. And I'm going to go over to a staging area or just mill about out here, okay? Now, let's show you how to pick it up. At least our procedure. This is how we do it, guys, okay? Everybody's boat and family, right? If you have kids, it's going to be a different situation. So just do the best you can. And again, main thing is courtesy at the ramp. Especially with those Miami ramps right now with the COVID. I mean, we really got to look out for each other, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we'll just show you our process for loading the boat. Are you ready, Darcizzle?
I am ready. I'm going to give expert advice. I'm going to try to, even though Brian has many more boating years of experience. But I've been doing the trailering for years now, so.
Yeah.
And every time I back down a trailer, a lot of people like to come up and be like, "You did that great." Like, thanks a lot.
Yeah, let me tell you guys,
Thanks.
Girls and any female can do anything better than you except lift heavy rocks, okay? So they can back up a trailer. It's no big deal. It's not that they can't do it, it's just that they don't have experience doing it, okay? And it's not a big deal. You're not special, okay? Any woman can do it. They learn better and they have more patience.
Brian is all about girl power. He knows that girls are the superior
Because it's true.
of humans. Just saying. He's awesome.
Oh, stop. All right, guys, so a little bit about etiquette when you're picking up your boat. Now you see, I dropped off Darcy, and now I'm getting heck out of the ramp area, out of the loading and unloading direct area. Okay, there's always gonna be a staging dock. Go over there and stage, and don't block the ramp. The order of how it works at the ramp is whoever has their trailer there first, okay? So don't park your boat in front of the ramp and block the unloading and loading ingress and egress, okay? Go to the staging area, or I usually just putt around out here, depending on how busy it is, and then when the person gets your trailer down there, then you go over there and get on the trailer, which of course should not be blocked because everybody else should also be staging and not in the ingress and egress ramp area, okay? Hello, how are you?
Oh, awesome. Thank you for watching.
Fans. And now in our trailer, we put the bunks down to about, we put the trailer down just over the fenders, but it depends on the tide and the steepness of your ramp and your trailer and your boat and everything else. I just line it up and drive right on. And then she uses hand signals to get me up.
Good.
All right. If your trailer is set up correctly, it should come right on, and that's another thing. You want to just make sure your trailer, the bunks are set up right.
Give me a little gas.
Do those adjustments, it makes it easy. Now she tells me to go a little gas.
Neutral.
And she tells me I'm good. I'm gonna turn off my engine and tilt it up a little bit. I mean, that's basically it. If you don't tilt your engine up, it's gonna hit the ramp, so make sure you do that. And then...
Ready?
I'm ready, honey.
What?
I'm ready. Give a thumb up so they can see. They can't really hear you at the ramp, so try and use some hand signals. Just go up nice and slow. You don't gotta floor it and burn rubber or nothing like that. As you know, two-wheel chuck, never an issue. You don't stop in the middle of the ramp and put on your straps and take out your plug. You pull up out of the way so you don't block the ramp anymore, okay? That's a real Guggen move, stopping in front of the ramp to you know, do all these adjustments. When again, you're blocking the ingress and egress. It's all about etiquette. Have concern for your other people. That's it. It's really simple. Etiquette at the ramp. It's really just common courtesy, honestly. All right, guys, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Darcy's kind of mad because I don't know if you guys know or not, but this week, before this video, we trolled 3 days in a row for Wahoo and didn't catch nothing. And Darcy, we're both a little frustrated, but some guy next to us caught a 50-pounder. Well, it was before the weekend. So
yeah, it was like 3 days before we started trolling, but still, it gets me upset. Because we are definitely putting our time on the water, but It's all about patience, and I'm telling Brian we're going tomorrow, and he's kind of against it, but we're going, day 4. Today's day of full moon.
Back to trailering.
Yes.
It's all about, guys, safety, have your proper tires and all your safety equipment, and at the ramp, please, everyone sees all kinds of Guggen crap down here, okay? Use etiquette, proper etiquette, and just use common sense and be nice to other people and think about their time too. It shouldn't take you 15 minutes to put your boat in the water or get it out, okay?
Respect others with boats too. That's all we gotta say. Like, we do it, so we expect you to do the same.
Right, and I know a lot of people have new boats because of COVID and everything. You know, don't take your boat out for the first time on Labor Day weekend on Sunday, okay? Just come down here and practice and do it a couple times.
Yeah.
Because you can damage stuff and it can be an issue, but it's very simple, you know, to not have any issues with a little bit of practice.
Yes.
Safety and common sense.
Plenty of ways to practice. You can even practice on your own road where you live if it's not too busy.
Right, no big deal.
You know, so
and come down here after work and during the week and do all the launching and ramping you want. All right.
You can't learn without starting to practice. So there you go.
So we'll see you on the water.
Yes.
And until next time.
And let us know if you learned a thing or two. And if you do have any questions, we will answer them in the comments below. And until next time, follow your dreams and keep on catching.